will be able to have enough time to actually allow any other.
Thank you, Chairman Meli. The families. Thank you, Chairman Meli. The families of our brothers, Nick, Amos, Captain George, to just say one word before we proceed. And I'll ask all members of parliament who are here. I will invite our whip, who will come and lead us in a song.
We realize that all these men were breadwinners in their families. They were largely the hope of their families. And I could see that from the faces of those who were speaking earlier. Do not worry, all of you. Have faith, because God is going to give you another provider from amongst you. Who was going, or was the only breadwinner and the hope of the family, don't worry. God took him. God is going to give you another breadwinner, another hope. When I was reviewing what we call the division list of the house, which is something we do every Monday, it became apparent to me that life is so fickle. We have faith that God is going to give us another great leader from amongst the people of Emuradikil, so that that vacancy does not last. Of you, strength, particularly.
Thank you, P.S. Hinga, on behalf of PS. Thank you, P.S. Hinga, on behalf of PSS and the Ministry of Housing. PSS and the Ministry of Housing.
I went to him and I told him, mimi nilikuwa mtu ya Uhuru Kenyatta. Na huyu chairman, the only memories I have of him, and you all know, because you're Kenyans, it was a very difficult journey. You know, not many people will have with or you know, the best way to punish him, tumpeleke kwa site. Tumfanye atembee kidogo a sweat. In 2024 for Mashujaa Day, I wore a pink shirt na nilikuwa nimesweat, and Kenyans kwa mtandao are very unforgiving. So picha yangu ilipigwa na ikatembea. Sasa na mnajua Gaidho, na sitasema sana. Sasa the funny part was Gaidho alikuwa amedeny, akasema mimi siwezi kuwa twin brother ya huyu jamaa. He found a way of just creating a lot of humor. But wisdom. So when we did the markets that we're doing over 400 markets in this country. The way we procured the markets, we procured them and for Kericho, went to one very lazy contractor. Now, when you have a cluster of 3 markets in one county, and you have a lazy contractor, you have a big problem, because it is not just one project which is problematic, it is 3. And this was his backyard. A lot of noise. And this was his backyard. A lot of noise coming from that end. So the chairman one day called me and he said, Hinga, unajua, yule contractor is very lazy. Wa Kipsigis, kwa sababu ni tantamount kusema pia mimi nidharau watoto wangu. Akasema, what do you mean? Nikamwambia mimi nimeoa Mkipsigis. So chairman akanyamaza, akaniambia jina ya your father-in-law ni gani? Nikamwambia anaitwa Kibet. Akamaliza hiyo story. Akaita wale few members ambao walikuwa wametoka huko Bomet na Kericho. Tukakuwa na mkutano, a few of them. In the meeting, akasema, mnajua huyu jamaa? Akasema, of course tunamjua, ni PS. Mnajua jina yake? Akasema, huyu si Hinga. Akasema, hapana. Huyu jamaa jina yake ni Charles Kibet. Akasema, wakauliza, anaitwa Kibet kwa nini? Akasema, akaniambia, wewe Hinga, kutoka leo ili upendekeze kwa hao watu, wewe ni Mkipsigis kwa sababu umeoa watu wetu. So he had a great sense of humor. So I will just say to Naya and the young children and your family, poleni sana. I just can't imagine the grief that you're dealing with has been broken. Nothing will be the same again. But as God calls us one by one, that chain will link again. Chairman, may your memory is ever lost. Fare thee well, Chairman, and all the departed. Asanteni sana, God bless you.
Thank you, PS. We indulge. I've worked in the ministry with Chairman Ngeno. I want to ask all members of the National Prayer Breakfast team in the National Assembly, our usual Wednesday fellowship team, to make your way to the front. And we'll ask all the other members to please just stand up in your place where we are so that we may condole the family with a song that will be and whip.
You know, on Wednesday, in honor of our late colleague, Job still said, you remain to be God. And our hope is in God. Lord, that you gave us, Jesus, leadership and the privilege, Father, to share a platform of leadership in the National Assembly. Share a platform of leadership in the National Assembly.
Senator Wakua Bubi, yes, Connie, and there's somebody there. Oh, yeah. That's Esio Kenyuri, if I'm not wrong. Yes, that's Senator. She's as tall as me. That's why I was Unity, later our senior. So I'll speak very briefly about this gallant lay before us here this morning, people that have known of his leadership. I knew Mheshimiwa Ngeno in 2015. I think like Mheshimiwa Meli had said, had just been granted the ticket for the Jubilee Party, and they came by election. Of course, things went the way they went, and we finished that by-election. I joined them in Parliament. Go to 2017, I went to Emuru Adikir to revenge also, to do what politicians do to each other. And we tried our best, but we hardworking and diligent young man who I wheeled into church this morning in a casket, my good friend Carlos. Carlos was Carlos. Very distinguished also. We may not, maybe many of you may not know him, may not remember him as a leader, but for those of us that have done politics in Emuru Adikir, there were days when, without Carlos, you were not guaranteed of doing a political meeting in that constituency. He had a very powerful group of young men that walked around him. I don't recall the exact name they called themselves, but you could not do a political meeting without first consulting with them. And we worked with him very well during that particular campaign. When we finished, so distinguished was Carlos in his work that when we finished amongst the people that work in this office of the Deputy President, that's how Carlos got himself employed, because of his organization skills. And he worked there for that particular period. And I have known him throughout the years, a very hardworking young person, that will be the last time that I would see. So I equally pass my condolence to his family, to his siblings, to his parents, and do promise that the way you requested this morning, have tried the last few times. This morning, have tried the last few times. That is how gifted. That is how gifted this team of Mheshimiwa Ngeno was. Is how gifted this team of Mheshimiwa Ngeno was. So many other people. This Captain George, I flew with him on Sunday. Before politicians like us never carry a grudge on behalf of us. Politicians have that thing of doing, which young people say they shower and go back to the market quickly. They make friends and market quickly. They make friends and enemies in quick, because he's sent a few of our members to oversee elections in certain constituencies. And Mheshimiwa Kawanjiko was in charge. Let each of them give you 50-50 of the agents and the clerks. And that is how they did a successful nomination. And Mheshimiwa...
To my friend and a son-in-law. Maybe before I finish, because I have a few announcements, allow me to recognize the following people. The county government of Narok, MCAs, members of the county assembly, please stand. I saw the speaker with us. Kindly just stand where you are. Kindly just wave, just wave. These are people who I have worked with, I'm working with. Also, all the employees of the county government of Narok, kindly just stand up. And if there is employees of Nairobi County, kindly just stand up to be seen, please. Thank you. You may be seated. I want to recognize a majority leader because, you know, we are only three of us, the governors. You know, His Excellencies and... yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. The family of